Welcome to BOLO. Gianna Gali here, your host, 2822 News morning weekday anchor. Thanks for joining us. Episode 5. Can't believe we made it here already. Joined by State Trooper Anthony Petrosky with the Pennsylvania State Police. And today we have a special guest, Detective Parator with the Kingston Municipal Police Department. This is the podcast. We talk all about scams. Like I said, episode 5. So we've come a bit of a way so far past the holiday season. But today we want to talk about something in particular in one of our local communities. And that's why we have Detective Parator here with us today. So, Detective, why don't you talk to us about what's been going on, what you guys have been seeing, in the Kingston area?
Sure. Thank you for having me, Gianna. And what's been going on, we've seen an uptake, a rise, spike, whatever you want to say, in scams on telephones, via telephone, or via computers, FaceTiming people. They've been spoofing the numbers, identifying themselves as the municipal police department.
As actual police officers.
As police officers, and they actually identified themselves as our chief. So this week we had that type of scam going on by the phone, and then we had mailbox stolen checks, and we're also following up on where is it here? Following up on online vehicle scams.
Yeah, some news, some things that have played out before in the past. I want to go through each of these
Sure.
Individually, but I'm just curious, when you say that there's kind of been this surge recently, is it calls in from people in the community or more part of like investigation-wise for you guys, or on both ends?
I think it's on both ends as of late. I was talking earlier with Trooper Petrosky. I mean, we're seeing it on both sides with the state and with the local police. But just this week, it came in as calls over the phone. And then on top of that, there was a theft from mailbox in Wilkes-Barre, which led to victims in Kingston. So the checks were stolen and then later cashed fraudulently.
This is the reality of it, right? This is what we've been talking about on every episode, and now we have a municipal department that is seeing a rise in all of these calls. And so we've said it in the beginning, and Tom, when we started this podcast, like I said in the beginning of it, these scams aren't going away. And that's the sad part. People always say, when are they going to stop? When are they going to stop? They're not. So the best thing we could do is educate people, because with the advancements in technology, it's actually helping these scammers. We're on the brink of artificial intelligence, and it's awesome when you use it, but in the wrong hands, it could be detrimental to people. And that's why we have so many victims that we deal with in law enforcement.
Yeah, I mean, speaking to that of technology, this mailbox scam idea, though, is really actually very old school almost, because,
Somewhat. It's ingenious in a way, but echo what Trooper Petrosky said. Everything he's saying, I want to say, and I have to bite my tongue. This is not going away. It's going to get worse. With technology and artificial intelligence, it's going to get worse. It's not going to ever stop. We just have to educate. It has to start early. And we talked before, there's a generation gap here, that people who weren't in the work field, didn't have computer savvy, tech skills, they're the ones that are getting targeted first in the beginning, as opposed to now, kids are growing up with a phone or an iPad in their hand. Whether they're going to be scammed as much, I don't know. That's yet to be seen.
Yeah, our senior citizens, right? 20, 30 years ago, if somebody called their house, it was probably legitimate, right? Somebody came to their house and said, hey, I'm doing work in the neighborhood. It was probably legitimate. And so that generation who didn't grow up with the technology, they're more susceptible because they're more trusting individuals. This wasn't how they grew up. So they're more trusting individuals, and scammers know this. And so even though there's not like a set target age on victims, seniors are targeted a lot because they're trusting. And when we talk about actual face-to-face scams, distraction burglaries, things like that, they also know that a lot of seniors keep actual cash in their house, and it may sound silly, but, talk to any new police officer and say, hey, let's go out for lunch. They're going to say, I don't have any cash on me, or I'm going to let me Venmo you the money, right? You know what I mean? Honestly, that's a generational thing. Exactly. You know what I mean? So, we talk about this and it sounds silly. Like when I do my presentation, I say, listen, these people who are committing distraction burglaries, they're looking for specific things. They're looking for like older vehicles in good condition. They're looking for, this is going to make people laugh, clotheslines in a yard. And if you think about that, show me a brand new house that's built that has clotheslines in the backyard.
My grandmother's is the last one I know.
Right?
So,
And that's what I'm saying. So
and she's 98 years old.
right. That says the type of person that lives in that house. These are the things that they're looking for, and they're getting their education through other scammers. How are you doing it? What are your techniques? And they're sharing this information.
We talked about these vulnerable groups before. Like, we said the older generation, but it's everybody too. And a lot more people my age because our generation is the one online. So whether we said it's the phone, the email, text messages, whatever it might be, anybody could be a target. And you're seeing that more and more. I mean, I'm curious, Detective, like with the calls that have been coming in, have you seen a certain, way in generation, or has it all been kind
I
of the
think
same?
it's spread out a little bit
Okay.
now. But I know you wanted to stay on topic with the mailboxes, but the distraction burglary, and he hit the nail on the head. We've had cases like this, and we've arrested. It's an organized crime, the distraction burglary, but they do target the house, the clothesline, the elderly.
That's like their clue.
The elderly details. Are they going to hit a house, the distraction burglary people, that has a basketball hoop and 10 pairs of sneakers, with 5 kids there? You know what I mean? They'll shy away from that. They are that good, and they go around and they profile houses.
And they also look for cameras. Now, we talked about this in the last episode, how the advancement in cameras makes it easy for everybody to have them on their house. You don't need a monthly subscription.
Yes.
It's very easy. You hook them up, you hook it to your phone, and it's simple. And we, as law enforcement, recommend them to everybody. But again, a lot of the older generation, they don't like that kind of technology, so they don't use it. So if you're a burglar, you want to commit a distraction burglary, would you rather go to a house that doesn't have cameras or does have cameras? Now, at the end of the day, is a camera going to stop you? Not necessarily. It may deter people. It's a great deterrent. But at the end of the day, is it going to stop you from breaking into a house? No, but it definitely runs the risk of you getting caught. And so they're looking at this. A simple one-time investment of wireless cameras. Can't recommend it enough. It really is. It should be a must for every homeowner.
Which will also make the homeowner feel a little bit safer because
Absolutely.
they have that extra self-protection and maybe way of like, okay, I'm going to check out my house. I mean, I know we have alarm systems on our house, so anytime that door opens or anything suspicious goes off, it's an immediate.
And if you're at work and you get a notification, you check it, and somebody's on your property that shouldn't be, you just call 911. Like, we understand you're at work, you can't just get up and leave and go to your house. Call 911. That's our job as law enforcement, to go and look into it. That's simple.
Well, we can jump around a little bit. I want to start with the mailbox theft scam that we've been talking about. A little graphic here just to reference. Many people right now may be making their returns, Christmas gifts, holiday presents to the post office, right? Or they're sending out birthday checks, whatever it might be. There's that little blue box we see, that drop box, right? Classic. Everybody probably used that at some point. Maybe not so much my generation. No, I'm kidding.
You don't mail anything.
I'm kidding.
You know what stamps are?
They only know email.
Hey, don't give it if you can't take it. No, but
I have a lot to say about that, as you know, we spoke.
So go ahead, Detective, because something people need to know.
I mean, anybody, elderly, your generation, my generation, do not use the blue collection boxes. They are not secure. We can't secure them. We can't monitor them, 24/7, and neither can the post office. If you have mail or packages, bring them inside the post office. Take them inside, hand them to the postmaster or whoever's at the window. That's the best defense right now, because people are putting checks, money, significant items through the mail, and they are getting stolen from the collection boxes, whether they are fishing them out, and we can describe that later, or popping the key, popping the lock. Yeah, that's what's happening.
Yeah, this is, some people think that, well, it's secure because it has that security door on the other side when I open it, so you can't put your arm in. Yeah, people aren't putting their arms in, but they're putting other things in. Yep. We've seen it in the Hazleton area. About a year and a half ago, we saw it, where individuals were taking old CDs and DVDs, and they were tying them to string. So there'd be like 3 or 4 on string, and then they would cover it in glue and literally dip that in the mailbox. That's it.
To just,
something that simple.
It
dip it in the mailbox, because you can get that in there, and then just pull it out. And we had so many thefts of mail that people never received. And we're talking about cards, gift cards, checks, just like what the detective is saying, right? And so Also, people will go in on a Saturday or Sunday and put that mail in. Well, that's not getting picked up till Monday. It's so much easier to just take the extra 25 steps and go into the post office.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the thing is everybody wants something that's a little bit more convenient.
Sure.
You know, I don't want to say the lazier option, but sometimes the post office stop for us is like that pit stop between something else, right? You're
Running
going out to
errands.
dinner. I got to throw that envelope in the mail, right? And that's what you want to do. You don't want to have to go in, wait in line, but that might actually save you a lot more headaches in the future.
100%.
Absolutely. We can't recommend
That's-
enough. Like,
yeah.
don't use those. Also, like, a little bit different, but on the same way, like, we cover a lot of rural areas, the Pennsylvania State Police. And so we've had some incidents from personal mailboxes because on a Sunday, well, I'm going to forget tomorrow to put this in my mailbox. So I'm just going to put it in Sunday and flip the flag up,
Yeah,
right? Well,
yeah.
that's letting somebody know there's something in there, you know, and it could be valuable in these rural areas. You might not have a neighbor that's close to you, so a car drives down and they take what's in your mailbox. Just wait. Just wait until that morning of, right? Let's not give somebody a one-up on us. We've got to be vigilant in everything we do.
So big note, if you're headed to the post office, go inside. Just take the extra, like you said, 15 steps inside the door.
Go inside, and if
Caution.
you do mail checks, even if you do go inside, monitor the clearing of them online on your bank statements. But secondly, they still can clear, if they do a mobile deposit, a fraudulent mobile deposit. So again, as we talked earlier, with the technology and AI, it's just gonna get worse. But you have to monitor the checks because they do wash them. They'll change the name and they'll change the amount. So if you send a $100 check to your grandson and then it comes back $2,000 in your account, well then boom, you caught it. At least notify the bank ASAP as soon as possible.
Yeah.
It's always good to follow up on what we do. I know we discussed this on an
We said
earlier
this,
show,
yeah.
but it's always good to follow up, right? Plus, it gives you the peace of mind.
Call the grandson. Hey, did you
Exactly.
get this?
Yes. Get my
I
card?
sent this.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know, big thing. Okay, switching gears a little bit. Different side of things here. These online vehicle scams. Very interesting. This is not something that's, I feel, as maybe common, but what's going on here?
We have one we're investigating currently, and the victim was online going back and forth, haggling maybe with the price or whatever the case may be. And then the price came, hey, wire us 35,000 plus through the bank. And then they're going to set up a delivery day. Well, the money went through and the vehicle was never delivered. So, I mean, I don't know if your guys up at Hazelton
So
have
we've
anything
had
like
many
that.
incidents like that, and not just for vehicles.
This
but
is new to
making,
us.
Yeah, making purchases online through maybe some social media sites where you could purchase, other applications like that, where the person selling the item wants the money first, and then they never hear from them again.
So is it that they have the actual product or the car and they're just using it as a way to get the money, or is it that that never even existed in
It
the
could
first
be
place?
either.
Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah,
It
it could be.
They could, again, technology's killing us. AI,
You can't tell.
we could
probably.
have it,
Yeah.
they can have it, or they could be borrowing it, meaning stealing it from the internet, pictures or whatever the case
Yeah, it's
may be.
very easy to take any kind of picture from the internet. And on top of that, if I was a buyer, I would say, hey, can you show me a picture of you standing by it? AI can do that
Yeah.
automatically. You just tell AI to
We're
do it, and it'll
doomed.
do it. So, really, like, before, and I think you'll second me on this, but before you make this online purchase, go see it in person. Go make sure it's legitimate, right? Also, do a little background investigation on
Do
the
some-
seller.
do some research
Right?
in.
Do some research on the seller, because chances are, if he's a scammer or she's a scammer, other people may have wrote that. So do a little research before you go giving away money.
It's hard if it's out of state, though. That's the only
True.
problem.
Yes.
Then don't buy it.
Yeah.
Common sense
Look-
is going
look
to be
elsewhere.
preached here. Common sense. If you can't see it, if you can't touch it, if you can't go there, don't buy it.
And we've talked about this before, but like just listen to your gut. Like use
Exactly.
the intuition. If something seems off about the situation, it probably is.
100%.
Ask around. All right. So talking about more not giving your money away. Talk about apartments, homeowning when we come back. More of BOLO after the break. Welcome back to BOLO. Gianna Gali here, your host, joined by Trooper Petrosky and Detective Parator today. If you're looking to buy a home, an apartment, any of that sort, there's something that you need to know. We need to talk about before you put any kind of money down. Why don't you two start us off? Maybe you want to share the story that we talked about, Detective Parator, in Kingston that's been happening?
In the past, we've had apartments for rent, and the people were getting scammed by doing it online, which I advise against. I know people, for college, they live in one part of the country, and then they're going to go rent an apartment maybe by the school. Make the trip, go to the area, see the apartment first, because what was happening, apartments in our town, in the municipality of Kingston, were occupied, and then they were on the internet as apartment for rent. They were scamming the people, taking a deposit down, and the people were showing up with trucks full of their belongings to move in, and there's somebody already living there.
Already gone the money, too.
And the money's gone, but somebody was legitimately living there.
And did they pay in advance, right?
The people that were getting scammed were shooting money through the internet, Venmo, banking, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
And the money was going to the scammer, and the people were showing up. We had it in town, a couple of different apartments, and the people were showing up ready to move in, and there was somebody already living in there, and the money's gone.
And what we see as law enforcement officers is these scammers they're always putting pressure, right? Maybe they're not saying things like, I need an answer right now, but they're saying things like, hey, if you want this apartment, I got 3 other people, right? So you got to give me a decision, right? They're putting this pressure on it. And
100%.
a lot of people aren't good under pressure. And so instead of thinking out the entire scenario, like, wait a second, this doesn't sound right. They're just making an irrational decision saying, I'll take it. What's your Venmo? I'll send you the money right now.
Yeah,
and
especially if they're on a deadline.
Right. And it's just
I'm
happening
moving
so
a
quick,
new job, or I'm going to college, and I just got
move in 2 months.
Yes, I got to move in.
We have to take a second when we're making decisions here. We have to take a second. We have to look at the totality of the scenario, right? Why is this person putting pressure on me so much? I shouldn't have to make a decision right now, right? Like, if you're answering those questions, yes, like you need to hang the phone up, because it's just another scam. And this is one that can really put people in a difficult position because they're looking for a place to stay. They might not be in the area, so they're not driving here to take a look at it, meet the person.
Major hardship.
Absolutely, yeah.
We have to train the public to think differently now.
Yeah.
And it's just the way it is.
I think that's a good point to talk about really quick, because a lot of times when it comes to these scammers, they're never going away. But how we think and how we not become a victim to their crime, in a sense, is what could almost be more important. Like, you're in control of you, and that's really it at the end of the day. So you got to be self-aware. You got to be thinking on top of your game of when these things come up. And, like you said, if it comes to something like this, like something bigger in life where you're trying to buy a home, buy a car, like, don't act so quickly. Like, have that patience to sort of look into what's going on.
And the upcoming generation, I don't know if they have the patience, and they're going to have to learn.
Well, that's why we're having these talks,
Yes.
right?
Exactly.
I mean, that's exactly why.
We
Because
want to get the word out.
yeah, and I'm sure people ask you, right? You're a longtime detective. People ask me all the time, friends, neighbors, like, when are these scams going to stop? When am I going to stop receiving these,
That's like the
these
biggest
phone calls?
question, right?
That's the $1 million question. And I like to be as honest as I can be. We're not. We're not going to stop with the phone calls. Maybe the phone calls will die down a little bit, but we're going to get more text message scams. We're going to get more email scams, right? And all of these different apps that are out there where you could just communicate with people. Some of these apps is like talk to strangers. That's the slogan of some of these apps. And you talk to people, and then all of a sudden they say, hey, I have this for sale, right? They'll look and see the background of your house, the room that you're in, because it's a video call. And they'll see that maybe you have sports memorabilia. They say, hey, I got some nice items, right? And just like that, they got you and they hooked you in, right? So we have to think like, hey, I'm on a video call with a stranger I never met before, and now they're trying to sell me something.
Yes.
Again, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Think for a second and don't make irrational, quick decisions.
And like we were saying, there's always going to be something new, something they can kind of pry off of, learn how to manipulate, and then hook that person at the end of the day.
They do their homework.
Yeah,
There's
exactly.
no doubt. They do their homework.
They know
Intelligence
what they're doing.
gathering, what we do as police, they do as criminals.
Yeah.
To defend that, we need to use common sense, use your gut, as you said earlier. If it's too good to be true, it probably is. Don't do it. And then what Trooper Petrosky said, do your research. Go online, see if there's bad reviews. Only use reputable sites. And if you can't, I mean, we're going to recommend that you go to either see the product, the place, the thing, whatever. Go in person to see it. That's where we're at today, and it's not going to change.
And a lot of people ask me about using like Marketplace off of certain apps.
Okay, like
right?
Facebook
Like,
Marketplace?
yeah, like
Okay.
Facebook Marketplace. And it's great. I mean, I use it too, right? But some people say like, well, you know, should I really be having people come to my house? Well, if you're asking that, then the answer is no.
No.
If you're saying, should I really have people come to my house? The answer is no. Pick a place close to you, a public place, right? Like a gas station, a store, a place where it's well lit if it's nighttime, a place where there's people around in case something goes bad, right? Like
A
Take
busy
somebody with
mall.
you.
Yes.
Well, no, yeah. Let somebody know where you're going,
Exactly.
or take somebody with you. A busy mall parking lot. Do it in there. Don't bring them to your house.
Right.
Because that's the next level is they're going to burglarize it probably down the road.
Yeah.
you're inviting
Yeah,
a stranger
Yeah.
to show them your house, even if they're not even coming in. You're going out to the driveway with them, right? You're showing them your house in your neighborhood. Maybe they never knew about it. Now they're looking around, and now they take a slow drive when they leave, right? It's not the greatest idea, okay? And I'm sure there's people out there that said, I've made 100 sales and everyone was great. That's fantastic. All it takes is one. All it takes is one bad experience. So again, pick a place, a public place. This way, in case something goes wrong, you don't have a good vibe, there's people around you, you be loud, you draw attention, and hopefully there's a good outcome to it.
Yeah, and I think a good point to add to that really quick too would be know who's coming through your neighborhood. You know the people, know the cars. You see something suspicious, sometimes these, scammers, especially like in person, will kind of like camp out, stalk the area a little bit, know the house they want to target, right? So know what's happening where you live. I mean,
Yeah, in my
don't be-
career,
yeah.
over the years, the interviews we've done with criminals that we've arrested, that's their MO. They've done their homework.
Absolutely.
They know, they'll study. One burglar had told me in the past that he'll walk the streets early in the morning, and when people go to work, he'll watch people leave, maybe one day, 2 days, and then sees the pattern. You could probably pattern people after a week, and then he would break in to the house through the rear. If nobody stirred in the residence, then he did his business.
Knowing where they're
And
coming home, knowing when they're leaving,
Yeah.
knowing who's in the house, who's not in the house.
And when we have those types of crimes, right, property crimes to people's residence, when we do an investigation, we do like a neighborhood canvas. You go and you talk to a couple different neighbors. Hey, did you see anything? I noticed you have cameras. Can you take a look at them for me, right? And a lot of times people are like, hey, I did see somebody walking around. Why didn't you call us? You know what I mean? Like, it'd be much better if we could prevent a crime or catch somebody in the act, right? So like a lot of people get hesitant to think, well, I saw this vehicle. I never saw it had out-of-state plates driving through the neighborhood, but I didn't call. I didn't want to bother you guys. I mean, we're police officers. That's our job. Right? And that call may prevent like 5 or 6 investigations that we have to do down the road, right?
100%.
Right? So if we could stop that. So the point is don't hesitate. If you see something that doesn't look right, whether it's a person, a vehicle, somebody doing something wrong, call 911. It's our job.
Yep. We're going to get to more on that with why you should be calling police. If you feel something's off, you feel like you're being scammed. But first, something you might have just gotten a lot of over the holidays, gift cards. Now, we're not talking about the ones that you got for Lowe's and Home Depot as a present, but there are gift card scams. So let's dive into that
Yes.
in our last segment for today.
So these gift card scams, first of all, it's the number one telltale that it's a scam if they're saying to pay for a gift card. Now, just to clear the air, if you received a gift card for a restaurant as a Christmas gift, that's okay. Right? Like, I don't want there to be that misconception that I can never use a gift card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's totally fine. What we're saying is when you get one of these phone calls, okay, and it says, hey, we have a ticket that you never paid. It's the Kingston Police, right? Because they'll say this. It's the Pennsylvania State Police. We have a ticket that you never paid. In lieu of getting rid of that ticket, you just pay using a gift card, right? We'll even stay on the phone with you, okay? And this could be used for the turnpike, different kind of things. You owe a taxes, stuff like that. They'll use anything. And we'll stay on the phone with you. Now, I've had people tell me that they said this, and they drove to the gas station. They spent the $50, $100 on the gift card, scratched the back of it off, read the numbers to the person, and then the person, all right, thank you very much, we'll take care of it, off the phone. And now that money's gone. And the reason why these scammers want the gift cards is because they're not traceable. That's why they want them. And that's easy, quick money. So don't ever pay with something, right? Not if you have a gift card and you're using it at a restaurant. That's totally fine. But like pay for a service. Like, hey, you booked a hotel. You could pay using a gift card, right? You just have to read me the numbers. That's a scam. Hang the phone up. Don't be going to the gas station, buying gift cards. And also, we talk about how we do this to educate people. If you're in a gas station or a store that sells these gift cards and you see somebody, primarily an elderly individual, that has 5 or 6 gift cards and you see they're on the phone, have a conversation with them. Chances are they're currently being scammed and they don't know any better. Have a conversation with them. Explain, hey, what's going on? Are you on the phone with somebody? Are you reading these gift card numbers to them now? I know it sounds weird to talk to a stranger like this. Be that person that helps them out before it gets too late, because this happens.
If it seems
I've personally
suspicious,
seen
like,
this
step
in my career where this happened, and one woman was scammed out of a lot of money over gift cards. So don't pay using those gift cards. Don't pay anybody with them. And if you're on the phone with somebody and they say, hey, you could pay using the gift card, hang the phone up.
Okay, well, before we end today, I want to go over some quick tips and advice to just keep in mind. If you are feeling like you're getting scammed or have been scammed before, verify that identity. You guys will probably second me on some of these. There's a million tips we can provide, but these are just some off the top of my head. Don't fall for that quick money that we're talking about, the gift cards.
Exactly.
Hang up. You get a phone call, it sounds off, just hang the phone up. Don't dive into giving out information that doesn't need to be given, and then report it. Call 911, call your local police department, call state police, let them know what's going on, and always trust your gut feeling. So I always like to bring that up because I think it's important. Like, if something feels off, it probably is. Something sounds too good to be true, it probably is, right?
Yeah.
So
and I always say, the longer you stay on the phone with these individuals, the more susceptible you are of becoming a victim. So hang up early.
Yeah. All right, Trooper Petrosky, Detective Parator, thanks for joining us. Thanks for your service for both of you as well. Episode 6 of BOLO coming up. We'll see you then.